Conservation Fund. John and Madge Dix Fund, in memory of John Fleming Dix. And by contributions to WYS from viewers like you. Thank you.
If you were a bird hovering above the park, would be most dramatic at dawn or dusk, when you have this oblique backlighting coming from the rising or setting sun, and the mist and this beautiful intricate canopy, this soft green canopy punctuated by this beautiful uptown roofscape that would form a poignant and really striking urban oasis.
It was so strange because you could hear all the animals in the zoo in the middle of the night. Oh, all these noises. Of course, you could use your imagination, think what they were doing up that late at night.
The first time I was on any kind of train in my life was the trains at Audubon Zoo. I took my 2 children there to enjoy the rides, and I got on the train with them because I never experienced a train ride as a child or as an adult. So I was like reliving my childhood fantasy, riding the trains in Audubon Park and the zoo.
Riding down Monkey Hill was like a brave thing to do on your bicycle. I don't think I'd do that now, though. It hurts when you fall now. It didn't hurt when you fell then.
An urban Eden, a zoo considered to be one of America's best. In earlier days, a location for a World's Fair. I'm Peggy Scott LaBorde. Let's take a look at a green space full of memories. Audubon Park memories. Having a chance to visit with wildlife up close, or engage in sports. Just a few of the activities possible in an area that comprises 350 acres of uptown New Orleans. There's a section of Audubon that has had a magnetic pull for almost a century, the zoo. While there were a few animals on view at the 1884 World's Fair, it was actually in 1915, using insurance proceeds from a devastating hurricane, when the zoo got started. The proceeds went to the construction of a flying bird cage. Just a few years later, Times-Picayune editor Daniel Moore offered $500, then considered a large sum, as seed money to start the zoo in earnest. By the 1920s, an elephant and a small aquarium, donated by businessman Sigmund Odenheimer, had become zoo highlights. Odenheimer also funded a classic attraction that is still a zoo favorite.
It has a colonnade. It's a colonnade for the seals. And you can stand on this fence. There's a fencing around the colonnade, and you can watch the seals swim. There's like caverns underwater, so they go in and out of the caverns.
It's a neoclassic design. Its setting is spectacular. And to this day, it's one of the image makers of the park and zoo.
Growth accelerated at the zoo during the 1930s, when Dixie Brewery owner Valentine Mertz poured so much money into it that for a while the zoo was named after him. And thanks to the Works Progress Administration, or WPA, massive construction gets underway. That meant new buildings and a real rarity in New Orleans, a hill.
And I had never seen a mountain at that point in my life, so it was the highest thing I'd ever seen.
Monkey Hill was built during the WPA days. WPA was very active in New Orleans during the Depression, in order to give local children the experience of a hill.
We used to take our bikes up to the top of the hill, and it was an incredible ride down. You know, it actually had sort of a little wooden restraint, sort of a seat, not a seat wall, but like a restraining wall around the bottom. So you could fly down that hill and actually get airborne before you hit the ground again.
Due to the segregation laws, I was unable to go to the zoo and the park, and consequently, I have no memories of Audubon Park and the zoo. was a child. As an adult,